Red Dead Redemption 2 has been out for over 3 months now, and Rockstar has since stated that early 2019 is going to be the time of DLC. Now, I'm pretty certain that most players would prefer a story DLC over an online one at this point, considering that the online mode just doesn't have what the story mode did, and the characters in the story of Red Dead Redemption 2 were just truly what made the game what it is, and Red Dead Online is just a mere shell of that experience. I'm pretty certain that we're close to a story DLC here, as in maybe a month or two away. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to be a bit wary on that because Rockstar themselves haven't said anything publicly yet, but I think that there's some things we can use from the past that give us some good assumptions for the future of this game. Red Dead Online is in beta, and well, that means that the online mode is still under development and Rockstar is still working out the kinks and whatnot. But if you look back at GTA Online and the way that DLC went for it, well, there were a ton of updates for the game before the new year had even started, back when the game came out in September, and unfortunately, the online mode for Red Dead Redemption 2 hasn't seen anything yet. Obviously, like I said, it's in beta still, so of course, we can assume that they're still hard at work fixing bugs and whatnot, but a part of me says that they would have already come out with a simple DLC, like even a clothing update or something, by now, if they actually wanted to do something with the online mode. I think the reason behind this is, well, because they're pouring all their efforts into completing the story DLC that the game will inevitably have. The online mode is something that they knew wasn't going to be as popular as GTA Online, and lo and behold, they were right. It's stagnating a lot. In fact, there's a lot less players in Red Dead Online at launch than there were for GTA Online back in 2013, so I think it's safe to say that the online mode won't be as much of a concern for them this time around. With that said, we've seen countless theories about a story DLC happening within Red Dead Redemption 2, and I myself have made several videos on that here on the channel, but one we all want to see is a sequel to the Undead Nightmare DLC that Rockstar released for Red Dead Redemption 1 back in 2010. For those of you that aren't aware, it was a story expansion that took place within a zombified version of Red Dead Redemption 1's world that not only included zombies, but various other creatures and all sorts of various new missions and whatnot, and it was actually one of the more popular DLC expansions in any game ever, so to say that Undead Nightmare wouldn't be a realistic thing to talk about would be crazy. And looking back at the original Red Dead Redemption, its release date was in May 18th, 2010, and it was only 5 months after that we received Undead Nightmare in October 26th. So there was a 5-month gap there in between the release of the game and a new DLC. If we go off that same formula, then we could be seeing a repeat of that for Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that 5 months is a long enough wait for a DLC, and I think that a trailer for a DLC mode is not too far away. I think that 5 months is a long enough wait for a DLC, and I think that a trailer for a DLC isn't that far away either, as the Undead Nightmare DLC was actually announced 13 days prior to the actual release of it, so we could be seeing an announcement trailer for a DLC 2 weeks before it comes out. If Undead Nightmare 2 does come out, then we could see a release date around late February or early March, and I think it's entirely possible that we could see a trailer 2 weeks prior to that sometime in February. So yeah, a release date could be pretty close here, and we could see a trailer sooner, and an announcement 2 weeks prior to the actual release would obviously be enough time to get everyone excited about it and actually get everyone to know that it's happening, because when it comes to story expansions, I'm sure they're dealt with in a different marketing scheme compared to online updates. Obviously, a story update is going to have tons more work put into it, and the simple word of mouth is going to be needed to get everyone aware that this is happening, and it would be really a good help. Now, what a lot of you might not know is that GTA 5 actually had a story DLC ready to go. In fact, Rockstar actually had already recorded all the dialogue they needed and made all the assets that they needed for the DLCs, but what ended up happening, of course, is that the online mode was bringing in so many players and money that they ended up using all of the things that they made for the story DLCs and put them all in the online mode. If you didn't know, GTA 5 apparently had 3 DLCs in the works, and one was a zombies DLC similar to that of Undead Nightmare from Red Dead Redemption 1, another one was an apparent alien invasion DLC, and the last was some regular kind of story expansion with a more of a grounded experience. Apparently, these 3 DLCs were meant to be released for each of the 3 protagonists in the game. Now, I want to believe that if this was the case for GTA 5, that it probably is going to be the same for Red Dead Redemption 2. I'd love to see them release 3 DLCs. Imagine seeing something similar to what they'd planned for GTA 5, but with Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe they could implement zombies in Undead Nightmare, then later on, maybe an Alien Invasion DLC, and then something a bit more grounded like a Sadie Adler expansion or something. It would be pretty cool to see this happen. Like I said, the online mode doesn't seem to be their main priority this time around, and they've already stated that they miss doing story expansions anyways, so I don't see why they wouldn't make story DLCs for a game like this, considering the story and the characters are genuinely the whole appeal of the game, and it's what made the game so critically acclaimed. Red Dead Redemption 2 already has tons of Undead Nightmare 2 Easter eggs scattered around the world of the game anyways. In fact, one of the biggest Easter eggs in the game involved a cipher that led to a hint at a character from Red Dead Redemption 1's Undead Nightmare. The mask from the original Undead Nightmare is everywhere in the game. It's even in the online mode as well, which almost makes me think that the way they're going to go about making updates for the online mode as well as the story mode could be by releasing huge content packs for both of them. If Undead Nightmare 2 comes out, I'd say that it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that we could see them implement zombies in the world of the online mode as well. Maybe even some side missions that they could add in the online mode as well. It would make sense and benefit them both ways. Releasing a story DLC that works in conjunction with the online mode every now and then, that could definitely be something that they planned for, and I definitely think that it's possible. Of course, Undead Nightmare was a huge DLC in Red Dead Redemption 1, and I think that they'd want to make a sequel to it, not only because of the success it would bring, but because it would just be fun for them to continue something that they worked on in the past. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. When do you think that Undead Nightmare 2 is coming out, or when do you think we'll be seeing a trailer for it? I think that it's very exciting because there's plenty of stuff they could add into the game mode, like, you know, Bigfoot, chupacabras, unicorns, and that's all stuff that we've seen from Red Dead Redemption 1's Undead Nightmare, and, you know, who knows what they could add on to that for this DLC. Maybe they could add werewolves, or maybe they could add, you know, stuff like the creature from the Black Lagoon, or, you know, who knows. Like, there's all sorts of stuff they could add. Maybe they could even add vampires and everything, because of course we have seen a vampire in Saint Denis, and he's part of an Easter egg that you can actually uncover, and you can find the vampire and kill him if you want. But of course they could expand on that and maybe give us more insight into who he is, and maybe there's more vampires in the world of the game, and of course the night folk and whatnot. There's just plenty of stuff that we could explore, and I think that there's a lot of stuff they could expand on in the future in a DLC or something, and maybe make some of the Easter eggs actually come to life in the game, because a lot of them just seem to be sort of things that are there, but there isn't actually anything of substance. So something like the witch's house, there's no actual witch, you know, stuff like that. Like the man bear pig, you can't actually get him to come to life or anything, and it's just really interesting to see all of the paranormal things in the game, and I really just can't wait for something like this to come out. And in my honest opinion, I definitely think that it's realistic, and I think that it's going to happen because there's just too much Undead Nightmare references in the world of Red Dead Redemption 2 to kind of say no to an Undead Nightmare 2 DLC. I think that it's just going to happen, especially considering Undead Nightmare actually gave us a cliffhanger at the ending, and it left us thinking that we could possibly get a sequel for it, because it just, you know, left us at a cliffhanger. And of course Seth Byers steals the green mask at the end of it, and he just runs away, which sort of implies that the zombies are back. And of course John Marston rises up out of his grave at the end, and it really makes you think, where do we go from here? Because if anything does happen, we could be playing as zombified John Marston and continue the story of that storyline. So who knows what's gonna happen. But other than that, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about this. Do you think that an Undead Nightmare DLC is something that you're looking forward to? Because for me personally, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and it's just one of my most anticipated DLCs of this whole year, to be honest. And I just can't wait for it. So let me know down in the comment section below what you think. But other than that, that's going to be it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. A like and a subscribe are always appreciated, as it only does take a second out of your day to make mine. But with that out of the way, have a wonderful day and see you in the next one.